Big pharma giant Moderna is facing suspension in Britain for shady COVID-19 vaccine practices, offering kids cash and teddy bears to partake in clinical trials, misleading regulators, and sneaky promotions. Will this be the wake-up call that Canada's regulators need? Let's dig in. Big pharma giant Moderna is in hot water, and this time it's not going to be a slap on the wrist. We're talking about potential suspension from Britain's pharmaceutical trade body for some pretty shady practices. This one's a doozy, and it's all coming from a bombshell report by The Telegraph UK. So let's break it down. Moderna, the company behind one of the most widely used COVID vaccines, is facing an audit by the Prescription Medicines Code of Practice Authority, acronymed PMCPA, for what they are calling unacceptable breaches of the regulatory code. And when I say breaches, I mean multiple. We're talking about misleading regulators, offering kids cash and teddy bears to join vaccine trials, and even sneaky promotional tactics that crossed some major ethical lines. Let's start with the kids. Now, according to The Telegraph, Moderna representatives were offering children £1,500, which translates to roughly 2,700 Canadian dollars, and teddy bears to participate in COVID vaccine trials. I mean, come on, teddy bears for kids, that's not just cute, it's manipulative. And here's the thing, under UK regulations, offering incentives or financial inducements for kids or their parents to partake in clinical trials is flat out prohibited. Moderna got caught, and then, get this, they lied about when they found out. They told regulators that they acted as soon as they were notified in January of 2024. But a campaign group called Us for Them blew the whistle way back in August 2023, meaning that senior executives knew, and not only did they do nothing to stop this disturbing manipulation, they worked to cover it up. The PMCPA didn't hold back. They called Moderna's lack of transparency completely unacceptable and said that it brought discredit to the entire pharmaceutical industry. And it doesn't stop there. A senior Moderna employee co-authored articles, including one with former UK vaccine minister Nadim Zahawi, pushing their COVID vaccine without disclosing that he worked for Moderna. He was even tweeting about it from his personal account, acting like he was just some neutral fan of the jab. The PMCPA said this was straight up advertising, and it was deceptive. So now Moderna is facing 10 new breaches of the regulatory code. The PMCPA is so fed up that they are ordering a full audit of Moderna's culture, governance, and compliance. If they don't clean up their act, they could be suspended or even expelled from the Association of the British Pharmaceutical Industry. That's a big deal. Suspension has only happened 9 times in the last 40 years. But there's more. Moderna's raking in nearly $7 billion in revenue. A little reputational damage or a few £1,000s in fines, it's pocket change to them. So without real penalties, companies like Moderna know they can bend or flat out break the rules and get away with it. And that's why public trust in Big Pharma and its regulators is, frankly, in the gutter. Molly Kingsley from Us for Them put it perfectly. Moderna's shown how little regard it has for the regulatory system that is supposed to keep it honest, insisting that ministers must now question whether the company that's new to the pharma game can credibly remain UK's flagship mRNA partner if they're already playing dirty. So what does this all mean for us here in Canada? Well, hopefully it will serve as a wake-up call to our regulator, Health Canada, when it's becoming more common knowledge that companies like Moderna prioritize profits over ethics, especially when kids are involved. Independent scientists and ethically inclined experts have been doing the job of Health Canada for the last few years, deep diving into COVID-19 vaccine vials and finding disturbing levels of residual DNA fragments and undisclosed genetic sequences in Pfizer's shot that raise equally, if not more serious, safety concerns. Virologist and independent scientist Dr. David Speaker, a PhD scientist working in virology, says that he was given the vials to test since he has decades of experience with PCR testing. That's a technique used to amplify small segments of DNA. And he says that Health Canada hasn't considered the risk of these DNA fragments, particularly the SV40 promoter in Pfizer's vials, potentially integrating into the human genome, which could lead to unforeseen health consequences like autoimmune issues or even cancer. Unfortunately, due to the nature of genetic tampering, anything further said here on YouTube will classify as medical misinformation. So if you'd like to see the rest of this report in its entirety and uncensored, please scroll down to the description box below or click the link where it says full report. Or, of course, you can always just follow us over on Rumble or at rebelnews.com. Thanks, and I will see you over on the uncensored side.